Welcome. This is Retired Command Samir at Centeno from Ethic Consulting. Thank you for tuning in. For those service members out there that are connected, please do not forget to share this video so we can help other service members out there with another live. You can find me at ethicconsultation.com. That is my website where you can find more information about what do I do. I love to help veterans, and this is what I do. We're gonna have a video tonight, and we're gonna talk about VA disability rating for, so also known as sinus infection. Again, sinusitis, sinus infection. How do you qualify? What is the association with the environment during service that can prove that you qualify to claim this condition? Sinus infection is a condition which the tissue in your sinuses. Hey Rob, thanks for tuning in. The tissue in your sinuses becomes swollen. Some of the symptoms of infection, sinusitis, are the following: runny nose, fever, headaches, cough, and sometimes pressure in your face. We're gonna talk about straight from the 38 CFR under code 6600, 6817, 6822 through 6847. Let me change my screen here so you can see what we're talking about. Completely from the CFR 38. I'm gonna post a link so you can check it out yourself. We're gonna be concentrating tonight on respiratory system. Okay, especially nose and throat. Again, this is the condition sinusitis, sinus infection, and concentrating on these topics right here. Okay, but I'm just putting it out here so you can see what we're going to talk about. Really interesting topic to see you qualify for this condition, in special if you were exposed depending in the environment that you were in while you were serving in on the military in special combat. Okay, all right, I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to have another slide here so you can see it while I discuss this topic. Interesting topic. Okay, it recognizes chronic sinusitis and its disability rating system. It's also recognized as rhinitis, a condition with similar symptoms caused by inflammation of the tissue inside your nose rather than in your sinuses. Two separate conditions. Usually they are confused because some of the symptoms are pretty close. The condition of rhinitis and sinusitis have common symptoms, and allergic rhinitis, also known as hay fever, happens when you breathe in something to which you are allergic and the inside of your nose becomes inflamed and swollen. This is what is rhinitis. Okay, but for this specific video we're going to concentrate in sinusitis. Okay, sinusitis is an inflammation of the lining inside the sinuses, which can be acute or chronic when the sinuses become blocked and filled with fluid. Germs can grow and cause symptoms such as headaches and nasal yellowish secretion. Can you claim both sinusitis and rhinitis? Yes, you can receive a combined rating for chronic sinusitis and chronic rhinitis from the VA, but it won't be very high unless you have a specific diagnosis. Rhinitis is rated at 10 to 30% based on the symptoms, while chronic sinusitis is rated at the 10, 30, and 50%. Here's some of the symptoms over here so you can see. Sinusitis, okay, it's a condition in which the tissue in your sinuses becomes swollen. Pressure on your face that is sometimes painful. Runny nose with thick mucus. Fever, headaches, and cough. When we're talking about the percentages, this is what we're talking about. 0% only detectable by x-rays, 10% 1 or 2 yearly incapacitating episodes that require 4 to 6 weeks of antibiotics, or 3 to 6 annual non-incapacitating episodes with headaches, pain, and nasal discharge or crusting. 30% 3 or more yearly incapacitating episodes requiring 4 to 6 weeks of antibiotics, or more than 6 annual non-incapacitating episodes with pain, headaches, and discharge. 50%, this is the highest you can get for sinusitis, is radical surgery with chronic bone infection or near constant sinus infection with headaches, pain, tenderness, and discharge are crossing after repeated surgery. So this is the highest you can go in these conditions. Question: how can you connect your condition with the service? After 2001, the VA acknowledges. Jorge Rosario, gracias por conectarte. Thank you for tuning in. After 2001, the VA acknowledges a presumptive basis for exposure. The VA began processing disabilities claims for sinusitis, rhinitis, and asthma on a presumptive basis in August of 2021. This means that veterans who served in Southwest Asia between August of 1990 and today may qualify for VA disability. What is a presumptive service connection? VA automatically presumes that certain disabilities were caused by military service. This is because of the unique circumstances of a specific veteran military service. If a presumed condition is diagnosed in a veteran within a certain group, they can be awarded disability compensation. When we're talking about this condition, and I'm gonna go in specific a little bit later on this video, it has to do a lot where have you been in the service. That's what presumptive means, that they presume that because you were in an area where you're exposed to different environments and hazardous materials, then you can qualify for this condition or other conditions that have to do with breathing, okay, like asthma and other breathing conditions. If you are diagnosed with a chronic disease within 1 year of active duty release, this is why it's so important for those that are still in service, okay? You should apply for disability compensation. This means that after you get out of the military, from active duty component, even from reserve or National Guard, and you have a chronic disease between that year, it's important that you apply for the disability, because this will help you simplify the evidence requirement in the process. Really important for you to understand this. To help you connect this disability of sinusitis, you must meet the following. Number one, you need a medical diagnosis by a healthcare professional. Number two, you need an in-service occurrence or aggravation due to the exposure during your military service. And number three, medical nexus. This is the link between your service and a current diagnosis. A lot of service members get it diagnosed, but they lack evidence to link it to the service. This is what is so important, that you keep your medical records and also you seek medical help if you are exposed to some of the following. Burning pits, which could result to the release of harmful chemicals leading to respiratory problems. High exposure to sand, those that been in combat, Iraq, Afghanistan, in the Middle East, this happens a lot, the high exposure to sand, sandstorms. This is dust or small particles matter. Chemical exposure, exposure to different chemicals through combat or military activities. Remember that you can get diagnosed with sinusitis, but probably lack the evidence to link it to the service. For example, if you work in an environment that you could prove or link the condition, did you work in a room without no ventilation? This is for people that work in armed rooms in the military, supply rooms. There were no ventilation, there's mold, you always have allergies while working in that environment. Did you experience any episodes of nasal inflammation, congestions, and headaches while on service because you were exposed, no ventilation in the area that you were working, lack of oxygen in that specific area? Did you go to sick call or medical treatment while on service for this specific condition? Were you having problems breathing? Did you go to sick call to see what was going on? Do you remember anyone experiencing the same symptoms that they can corroborate the story with you, and they can also do a nexus body letter, what is called? All these factors will contribute to link the condition to the service. Okay, I'm going to give you one example of somebody that I just helped recently to win this VA disability, and how I was able to help them, okay? And this is with medical documentation, all right? I edited a lot of information, of course, because of PII information, but I'm gonna go briefly so you can understand what I'm talking about here, okay? This person was having problems breathing, a lot of allergies. Now, I'm not gonna talk about this person or this service member job, but it wasn't a combat MOS, okay? For those that are tuning in, I know you guys know about what I'm talking about. It was not a combat job in the military, it was a support job. This person was having problems because of the conditions he was working in the environment. So he got a sick call, and one of the stuff that they wrote here is allergic rhinitis. Remember we talked about that? Those conditions can go hand in hand, all right? Or you can get a combination of both. So he went there, he was starting to get a diagnosis of allergies, okay? So he was able to prove that this happened in the military. This is what I say is so important for you to order your medical records if you don't have done so yet. So again, this is another episode. Allergies again, nose, runny nose, eyes, teary eyes, throat, allergic rhinitis again, keyword, all right? So you can see here that the condition was diagnosed while he was in service, all right? Another one here, watery eyes, throat, again, allergies. Is noted here that he has some allergy problems, and this was going on. Again, the keyword allergic rhinitis, all right? So this person is able to prove that the condition happened while in service. You see, this is how important it is for you to have medical documentation. Sinusitis again, keyword right here, you see it. It was diagnosed while he was in service. Now, the key to this is having the documentation, like I always say. You can claim that you have a condition. Can you prove it? Can you link it to the military service? Can you have that nexus that the condition was aggravated due to the exposure in the environment that you work while in the military? This is why this is so important, okay? Evidence. I keep emphasize that enough. Evidence, evidence, evidence will help you to win your VA claim. Okay? Importance of documenting your exposure to different environments. Okay? Also, if you participated in combat operations, your deployment orders and DD-214s must have the places that you deploy to. For example, if you look in your DD-214, it has a block there that says all the combat operations that you conducted, for example, Afghanistan, Iraq, the Middle East, all these other places that qualify for a presumptive condition. This is why this is so important. This link you in a place and time with the military orders and DD-214, and you can follow with evidence that can help you to link this condition to the service. The point here is to remember how important it is to have medical evidence and to ensure you seek medical help if you're being exposed to any hazardous materials or environment. Finally, your job description can also help you in the kind of duties that you perform while in the military. I'm going to give you some examples here so you can understand a little bit better that the exposure because of the job description that you perform can also help you. A 74 Delta, for example, in the Army, known as Chemical, Biological, Radiological, and Nuclear Specialist, CBRN Specialist is called, could be exposed to different hazardous environments due to the demands of the job. That's their job. They have to test the quality of oxygen. They have to go to confined spaces. They're exposed to different environments, lack of oxygen, exposed to hazardous materials. This is just an example. You also have firefighters, service members that are exposed to fuel, fumes, oils in the flight deck, those that serve in the infantry, also that they are exposed to different environments while working, if they're self-propeller or mechanized, light infantry. So all these jobs actually can help you also prove that you were exposed. I want you to think about it. You qualify for this condition, all right, of sinus infection, sinusitis, and let me know, please, if you think you qualify. All right, reach out to me. If you have any questions, you can send me an email to my website, itconsultation.com. and I can help you. You can send me a private message there so I can help you better, okay? Remember that a good strategy starts with gaining knowledge, and the only way you gain knowledge is educating yourself. Do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at X in Space Consultation.